What's going on, guys? This is John with ACTION-FLIX. I'm coming at you with a special review of the new movie Exiled, The Chosen Ones, which comes to us from cutting edge director Ranjit Asmara. I actually interviewed Ranjit last week. If you've seen that, that's currently up on my ACTION-FLIX YouTube channel. The ACTION-FLIX Live. I did it Friday, a live special where we talked in depth about the movie. So this is my spoiler-free review. I'm able to talk about the film if I don't allow spoilers. So I'm going to just give you like a brief run through of, my experiences with the film. And again, I talked to Ranjit on Friday, and, if you've seen that live interview that I did with him, then you pretty much know my feelings on the movie. But I figured I would do a special spoiler-free early review of Exile: The Chosen Ones. Being that it's a positive one, of course. I wouldn't do an early review probably if I did not enjoy a movie, but I did enjoy this one. So as you saw at the beginning of the opening of my video, Exile: The Chosen Ones is now going to be released on July 14th in the US, in the UK, and Germany on Amazon Prime Video. This July 14th. So we got a little bit more than a week away until it finally hits. So I'm going to talk about the movie, my thoughts. And as you can see from the title of my review, I'm calling it a blood-soaked, bone-crushing, just spectacle. It's the type of movie that mashes genres together. You got the hardcore action, you got some horror vibes going through it. I even got some slasher vibes going through it. A lot of you might agree with me. Like the types of characters that are in this movie are pretty extreme and should probably have their own slasher movie. If that ever makes a comeback. Now this movie, like I said, was directed by cutting edge filmmaker Ranjit Asmara. There he is right there with Nick Khan, who's actually in the movie, and I'm going to talk about him. And this is Mark Strange, which is he did a movie called Rupture that is coming out pretty soon with Mark. So Ranjit is the one in the middle. And this is the current poster that is making the rounds. As you can see, blood-soaked, bone-crunching action is on the poster. That is my quote that is on the poster, so don't let anybody tell you differently. So it's coming up this July 14th, and let me tell you, if you're a fan of ultraviolet movies, hardcore, unflinching, hit you in the head with blunt force trauma type action flicks, then this is the one for you. Now, pretty much the plot is it's not like it doesn't reinvent the wheel, but basically the plot of Exile: The Chosen Ones is that after, and I'm going to read it for you right here. So I'm going to read the review, not the review, but the synopsis. So it says, after a man-made virus failed to reduce the world's overpopulated areas, global leaders would start a new program that would legitimize a new venture in game show. The game would be broadcast live, where random contestants would be exiled into a concrete jungle, forced to kill each other for their freedom. So again, you're getting like a, Running Man vibe, like, that type of, where, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, back in the 80s, he did that movie and it's a classic action movie where, they took contestants and put them on a live game show where they were hunted by, over the top style hunters. And again, here viewers place bets on who has a chance at survival, but as it turns out that there's no survivors. So whoever even wins will probably be killed by the government themselves. So that's the plot. So basically what we're saying here is that this takes, a simplistic plot, if you will, which is not a bad thing. I like simplistic plots, especially because, like right now, like with my neurological disorder, I watched The Northman, a little while ago, and I really had to plug in hard to that movie you know, to know what it was speaking to me, what it was saying to me, because that was like a really, immersive film. So again, this film, there's a lot going on, but the plot is good. It's simple, basically, it's got kind of a COVID spin on it, like Ranjit was saying. So basically, COVID is big, bad, and ugly and nasty. And as we all know, it is in real life. But here, and it takes place a few years in the future, things have really gotten bad, as you can see from the outlays of the cities. It's on fire. There's a lot. It looks like Beirut, basically, in the 80s. If you know what I'm saying. So yeah, so I'm giving it a 1 out of 2 out of plot. Just again, that's a good 1 out of 2. Like I said, we've seen this plot before, but this time it's really hardcore, in your face. Take no prisoners action. Like it takes all different types of people. You got on one side, you got killers that pretty much know what they're doing in terms of killing, and then you got these poor innocent, um, prisoners that are thrown in, and it's basically can't throw a punch to save their life. So it's kind of sad in a way, because they're not going to make it, and it doesn't hold back. Like I said, there's some characters that you're like, oh, it's like you feel bad for, because there's no way that they can survive this game besides hiding, just like, and what a cool thing is with the movie is, when somebody's introduced, you see on the screen, gives how many days when they enter, and how many days they survived, and how many people you've killed. And some people, it's funny because it's like, like one poor bastard, survived all these days, but he's got no kills. So obviously he's just hiding, he's like, but of course he gets caught after a while. So the star of the movie is the great Sonny Pang. And this is from something else he's done. So I was trying to find a really good picture of him from the movie, but I was not able to find one that would go into to my review. So Sonny Pang, as we all know, is the man, when it comes to Asian action cinema. He's from Headshot, which also starred Iko US, and The Night Comes for Us, which also starred Iko US and Joe Taslim. A great on-screen fighter. He's badass. And he stars in the film as one of the participants in it. He plays Hero, who he's not a good guy. He's it says he's a Yakuza hitman, who's thrown into this thing. He wakes up like everybody else does. He doesn't know what's going on. He's in his, bright orange colored looking jumpsuit. And he's part of the game. So he's got to figure out what's going on. And then he pretty much, puts 2 and 2 together that, hey, people are trying to kill him. So, he's one, and I like his character because he's kind of soft spoken, and he goes through and he befriends, Hannah El Rashid, who plays Amber. She's just like a spectator. Well, not a spectator, but she's a participant too. So they kind of hook up, to try to survive this maze. And but when it comes time to defend himself, this guy is bad freaking ass. I'm going to show you some promotional posters that came out prior to the official poster came out. So these are some promotional, if you will, stills that came out. So he and let's go into pacing now. Now I saw a rough cut of this movie as a screener, so I'm excited to see like the official, because Ranjit said, it wasn't quite the official, version that's going to be on Amazon Prime. So I'm going to do another review, and that's going to be totally spoiler spoilers everywhere because I cannot talk enough, especially the ending. And I'll get to that a little bit later. So pacing wise, the version I saw was like a clocked in around an hour and 13 minutes. So this is not a long movie. It's like, including credits, so pacing, I'm giving it a 1.5 because it pretty much starts off, from the get-go. You get your, the audience or the viewers get what is going on, told to you, through a voiceover, and things are bad, and here they created this game, because they're like, oh, we created this virus, so it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So let's take people and put them in and let them fight to the death. so it's up and running. And it does slow down here and there. So and again, I was talking to Ranjit about this. I kind of enjoyed the dialogue in the movie because it's just kind of like casual dialogue when people find each other, and then they start talking, and then the fighting happens, so the plot is there, but it's just like, it's just these men and women who are stuck in this horrible situation where people are watching them having to fight to survive. So I'm giving it a 1.5 for pacing out of a 2 because, like I said, it pretty much jumps in. Like I said, it does slow down. There's some pacing lags, where people are talking and stuff like that, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But like, I was enjoying how, it doesn't follow a standard flow storyline. It's just basically watching these people in this concrete, battleground, if you will, trying to fight for survive. But then some of them have casual conversation. Like the two of them, they're just kind of talking, and then then one guy says something the other guy didn't like, and then the blood happens. so I'm giving it a 1.5 for my pacing. Now I'm gonna skip action, which is the A in space, the review type that I do. I'm going to go into characters now. And I was talking about Sonny Pang a little bit at the beginning. He plays Hero. But, then we got Oka Antara, who we know from the Raid 2 and Foxtrot 6, which I loved. I've never done a review for Foxtrot 6. I remember buying the DVD back in the day when it came out, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do a review. And it just never happened for whatever reason. But I want to go back and revisit that because that's just a badass movie too. So he stars in the movie as the Ghost. And his character's kind of cool. Although I will say this, I was let down, that he's a sniper, and that's pretty much what he lies and waits, but he's got communication to who's ever behind this. We got the shadowy figure, and when they finally reveal him, he's got kind of a scar on big scar on his face, so we know he's been through some shit. But Oka, he just lies in wait. He's got his sniper rifle. He's just picking off targets and stuff like that. So again, he's a big part, but kind of a mystery. When he leaves, the movie for the last time, his arc is not done yet. But it's like I wanted to see more from him, from the Ghost. And then we just get your random crazies. Like I said, I mentioned Anna El Rashid, who's in it. And then we got different, just weird characters going through this maze of blood and guts. So I'm gonna give characters a 1, just because, like I said, there's not a lot of backdrop to a lot of stories. Sonny Pang, is the main guy. And then let's talk about Nick Khan. Nick Khan is just a badass in this movie. And when I say badass, I mean like what can I say? He plays a character named Igor Dragovich. So that's just a cool ass fucking name right there. He's a Russian killer, and it makes me laugh because like he's in here, but he's got tactical gear, right? He's got a sword that he can pull from up, and a sword that he can pull down from here, and it's just bad. He's got knives all over the place. So it's like I talked to Ranjit about it. I go, how did this guy get thrown in here? All battle ready when you got this poor schmuck over here. You can't fight to save his life, literally. And it's just funny. And like he kind of his backstory, and he's just a bad. He just goes through the whole movie just like wiping people out, and he utilizes some nasty knife display tactics and combat CQB action, which is really cool. And I talked to Reggie and I was like, this guy needs to headline his own movie because like I said, he's just a badass mofo. He's tacked up, he's jocked up, and it's like, even though he's not a good guy, there's no good guys in this movie. There's bad people. And I'll say people because there's also women, and then there's worse people in this movie. But there are, innocents, so Sonny Pang, Nick Kine, Oka, they're pretty much the ones that I latched onto. So for them, I'm giving it a 1 out of 2. But then everybody else is just kind of like fodder. It's like, they're going to die. It's like, but there's some surprising kills too, like what happens to certain characters and stuff like that. So yeah. So now let's go into the action. And this is where, of course, I'm going to give it a 2. And I'm just writing my scores down so I can remember them. So the action is the name of the game. I talked to Ranjit about this. It's just it's brutal, it's unforgiving, it's unflinching, and it's like blunt force trauma. Like it's like it knocks you over the head. Like something will be happening, all of a sudden, wham! And then blood sprays across the screen, and hits the wall and stuff like that. And the fight tactics. Nick Khan and Sonny Pang, choreographed their shit, and it's just badass. Like Sonny Pang gets ample opportunity to showcase his skills. Nick Khan gets ample opportunity to display his skills, and it's just a thrill a minute if you love these guys, to see them do battle. And of course, it's not a spoiler because and I'll show you. It's on the poster where you got them facing off with each other. So it's not a spoiler. It's like their fight is the main event, and it's worth the price of admission alone. It's expertly choreographed. And I'll say this about the fight action, and I talked to Ranjit. I go, with what we have, shaky cam and and like quick cuts and fast edits, and we were talking about, like, if you have somebody who doesn't know how to fight, who learned moves for the film, but has to be doubled here and here because they just don't have, like, certain skills to do things. This is not the case in this movie. You got guys that know exactly what they're doing. So the camera just, is there, just watching them. And sorry, I just hit my table. Is watch because I'm getting excited. Is watching them, and it takes place all during the day, so the lighting is great and the angles are great, and it's just the camera, and Ranjit just says action, and that's what you get. You get these guys all over the place. You got hands and feet, you got bladed weapons, and then you got the ultimate fight at the end. So the action is a rousing 2 out of 2. I can't say enough, and then again, this movie is not going to appeal to everybody. And I talked about that too. It's not a mainstream movie in the sense that, you're just going to show everybody. It's a hard movie to watch, because what it's demonstrating, when it's showing you, but it is, it does its job for genre fans that are looking for this type of stuff, which I am one of them. And I also talked to Ranjit and I said, all my action movies, I don't need to have them, be hard R-rated. I enjoy PG-13 action, when it's done right. And even though there's not blood splattering 10 feet, and guts falling out and heads rolling and stuff, I still enjoy it. But I also enjoy the hard R-rated stuff. Sometimes you're in the mood for a good old bloodletting, and this is what you get with Exiled, the Chosen Ones. It is just it's virtually nonstop in the sense that, you know, there's not a lot of time. You know, you got the talking moments, but then it's like bam, yeah, boom, blunt force trauma. You know, here we go. You know, it's like the pedal gets hit, pushed to the metal. You know, if you will, and it's virtually nonstop. So overall enjoyment, I'm giving it a 2. Yeah. So um, yeah. So basically, um, overall enjoyment is like, like what my friend J-Man says, you know, on our hookups when we do the Action Elite Live, you know, does it deliver what it promises? And here, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, yes, it does. If you're looking for a hardcore action movie, you know, with a horror tinge to it, this is the movie for you. Like I said, it's got the action, but it's also got the slasher vibe to it, you know, and it's just a real good time where and it's fast, you know, it's an hour and 13 minutes. Now I'm assuming that's the running time, you know, that we're going to see for the premiere when it hits Amazon Prime, you know. So, you know, you pretty much probably not going to have to go to the bathroom like the Batman, you know, when you went to see that in the theaters, where that was 3 hours long. Now, again, this is spoiler free. You know, I'm not going to say anything about the ending. I will say it's ambiguous, and I've already said it in the interview. And again, Ranjit says it's leading up to something else. So there's more at hand, and what they bring out at the end, you know. But then it ends, and it just leaves you wanting more, and you're like, oh, that's it, you know. It's like, and it's that type of ending where, you know, shit's gonna hit the fan, but it's like, nope, not yet. So you gotta wait for it. It's like, but that's all I'm going to say. It's ambiguous, and it's going to lead to something else. And there's something that's created, you know, that is even more badass. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So no spoilers. It's an hour and 13 minutes of like hardcore bone crunching, blood splattered, you know, CQB action. You know, you got the knife. You know, like I said, I'm a knife person too. Like, I'm a martial artist. You know. And I, you know, back in the day, you know, I haven't obviously been doing a lot since, you know, I've had my issues, but I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to kick this, and I'm going to get back into it. But I did a lot of knives, so I love when the knives come out. You know, I like to see the intricacies, you know, in the choreography, you know, how they hold it, how they move it, you know, and stuff like that. The blocks, the parries, you know, and Nick Khan's character, like I said, Igor Dragovich, you know, he's just, and then I just want to say so much, you know, but I'm going to stop it there. I'm not going to say anything more. I want to, but this is a spoiler-free review, and I'm going to keep it to 30 minutes. All right. So I'm going to shut up, you know, pretty soon. So there you go. My recommendation, 7.5 out of 10. That's ACTION-FLIX approved for Exiled, The Chosen Ones, which comes out this July 14th. Yes, there it is. The big reveal, you know, and I just love the poster. Like I love the poster with my quote on it even more. I've been quoted twice in 1 month, you know, as y'all know. I got The Contractor, you know, the big with Chris Pine and Ben Foster and Kiefer Sutherland came out, and they put my quote right on the cover, right next to Chris Pine's face. I'm gonna get it blown up, and one time I'm gonna do my podcast. I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna replace something, and just, I'm probably gonna put it like right there, so you can, it's like, there it is, you know. So, but I gotta get it blown up. But yeah, so I've been quoted again, you know, for Exiled, The Chosen Ones. And I told Ranjit there that you could roll with that. That's my feelings on the movie. Like I said, if you're in the mood for a take no shit, hardcore, chest thumping, brutal, unflinching, hit you in the head with blunt force trauma, blood splattered, bone crunching action, Exiled, The Chosen Ones is it. It doesn't take a lot with the plot, you know, the characters or anything. It's just here you go. Boom, you got this situation going on, and it is just nasty from the beginning until the end. And like I said, you'll enjoy it if you know what to expect when you're going into it. So there's my special early review of Exile, The Chosen Ones with from director Ranjit S. Mara. Our interview is now up on my ACTION-FLIX ACTION-FLIX YouTube channel. I keep getting ACTION-FLIX and ACTION-FLIX confused. I should probably change that now, but I love it too much. So his interview is up, an hour long, and we get into that. We also talk about Rupture, which is coming out with my man Mark Strange, UK-based martial artist who this is his full-on head leading role, which he deserves. He's played a lot of, co-starring gigs and everything. It's kicked ass throughout the years in movies. So now he's got his official there he is, from Rupture. This is also from Ranjit Esmara. And I said, we're going to talk about this, when it comes out. So that's called Rupture. And it's got kind of like a Blade Runner type dystopian vibe to it, and it's going to have bullets and fists and feet. And that's all I care about. So that's coming up too from Ranjit. So there you go. So you got now my review. July 14th is the day. Make sure you check it out at Amazon Prime. Give it some love, so that way we get sequels, and spinoffs. I told him I want a spinoff with Nick Khan's character. I just want to see him, wipe people out with blades and swords, for 90 minutes. All right. So again, ACTION-FLIX approved 7.5 out of 10. A lot to enjoy if you're into these types of movies, and if you're watching this, then you are. So there you go. All right. And so until next time, remember ACTIONFLIX.com. Check out my websites. At ACTIONFLIX.com. Right now, I got the big Gary Daniels movie. Gary's back, man. One of my top 3 '90s direct-to-video action stars is kicking ass again and bringing back Dead. So that's up there now. Tips and donations greatly appreciated. As you know, I'm trying to keep the website going, but having my disorder, things are in disarray. So I'm trying to plug along. Tips and donations greatly appreciated. If you go to the website, you can see it on the side scroll. And I put it on the articles too. And if you scroll all the way down, it's on there too. Just to show support. I got a couple people doing monthly subscriptions, which is great. If you want to subscribe, I can't thank you enough. To help me keep the website going and to entertain you guys. All right. So Exiled: The Chosen Ones at an Amazon Prime premiere in the U.S., Germany, and UK this July 14th. So make sure you check it out. You got my review, so it's ACTION-FLIX approved. So again, you should enjoy it. Like I said, give it a chance. It's doing some different things, with that type of plot. So give it a holla, if you will, and check it out. All right. So until next time, remember ACTIONFLIX.com. We are your destination for everything action in 2022 and beyond. Have a good afternoon, everybody.